January was a successful month and I am excited to weigh in for you guys and set some goals for February. But first I'm gonna grab a snack and then sit down and have a little chat with you. Alright, I am ready. I got my water and got my snack. I've got some veggies and some everything but the bagel dip from Trader Joe's. And now it's time for a check-in. And by the way, I wore pink for February in case any of you noticed. Alright, so I have my notes here and I am ready to get started on reviewing the last month and looking forward to February. So in case you didn't watch my 2023 goals video, I decided that for 2023 I was going to split it up into quarters and set some quarterly goals as well as monthly goals. I'm also not weighing in weekly on YouTube, but I am weighing in monthly, so you are gonna get a weigh-in today. Yay for that. I know a lot of people come to weight loss channels to see the weigh-ins. I am still weighing in, it's just you guys are seeing the monthly and the quarterly weigh-in just because it's just better to track your progress that way when it's a public sort of thing, because we don't always see changes weekly. We see changes over the longer term. So the way this video is going to be laid out, I am going to go over how I did for January. Then we're just going to have a quick little check-in to see how I'm doing with my quarter one goals, and then we are going to set some goals for February. First up is checking in on how I did for January, and for that I need to show you guys my tracking spreadsheet, so let's head to the office and I will show you guys all of that. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen with you here. So I have my tracking spreadsheet in Google Sheets. Here is my 2023 weight loss, and I'm going to cover up the weights because I don't want you guys to see the weights just yet because I haven't weighed in yet. Here is my tracking spreadsheet. I have a tab. I have a tab for each month. Obviously, I just have a couple months because we're only in January, early February right now. So right on this left-hand side is my deficit tracker. I go by how my weeks are split up. So I start my weeks on Thursdays because that's when I weigh in, and it's also when I meal prep. So that's when my deficit tracker and everything on here starts. So on this left side, I have my calories eaten. I track my resting calories and my active calories, which I get from my Apple Watch. Obviously, it's not an exact science, I know that, but it gives me a ballpark figure of how my activity was for the day. You know, just like calories are not an exact thing. We all know that it's not always exact, even when you measure things out. Everything is a ballpark figure. It's just trying to improve and seeing where your data is and seeing how your body reacts and then trying to improve from there. I do my calories eaten, my resting calories, my active calories. To get my total output, I add the resting and active calories, and then my deficit is obviously my calories eaten minus my total output. If it's a negative, that means I had a calorie deficit that day, and if it's in the positive range, that means I was in a surplus that day. So this first week, I did not track the full week, obviously, because it was the end of December. So this calorie goal is not really accurate, so I'm gonna skip that week. The first week, I did have a surplus. I did go over my weekly allotment by 519 calories. That's why that is in red. And then down here, I have my total deficit here, and then based on that, an estimated loss. And then here is where I have my actual loss, which I get from up here in my weigh-ins. And then we go all the way down to week 3, week 4, and week 5. So as you can see, I did well about 50% of the time. I stayed under my weekly calorie allotment for 2 weeks, and I was over my calorie allotment for 2 weeks. Not the best, but not the worst either. Now that we went over my weekly calorie goals, I'm gonna go over this next column, which is my workouts. So I did not have a goal in mind as to how often I wanted to work out. Again, I just wanted to get a baseline for January and track everything and do the best I could. Here is, I have the days of the week lined up with the dates over here. I have my planned workouts in this column, and then what I actually did that day in this column, and then calories burned based on my Apple Watch. Down here is the total number of days that I worked out that week, and then the total number of calories I burned that week. Obviously, the first week was not the best because I didn't do the full week, but here we go. Here is the second week. I worked out 3 days days this week. The third week I worked out 5 days, which is much better. Next week I worked out 3, and the next week I worked out 4. And that kind of gave me an idea too of what my goal is going to be for February, which we'll get to in a second. So again, not too bad. And then I'll quickly go over what else I have on my tracker before I get to the weigh-in. So here in this third column I have my menu plan. I like to plan my meals every week. I didn't do this the first couple weeks, but the last few weeks of January I did. So I plan my breakfasts, my lunches and dinners, and my snacks. And then if it's a recipe, I try to include the link here. And then once I enter it into my Lose It app, I'll put my calories here. This was a new thing that I added this month, so I did not complete it, but I am planning to do that in February. Here's what I planned, and then the link for when I'm meal prepping. It's easily accessible. And I'm not going to show you guys my steps because I am very embarrassed, but this last column does show my steps. I just put the daily steps in here, and then I add up the total and then my average daily steps. And then down here at the bottom is where I put my monthly goals. So my goal was to lose 5 pounds, to track my deficit, and to keep my calories below 12,600 calories. We did go through the calorie portion. I did hit that about 50% of the time, and I did track my deficit every day except for the first because it was a Sunday and I didn't start on the first. But this is where I'm tracking my habits. There will be more as time goes on. Next month I'm gonna add another column for another goal that I'll be tracking, which I'll get to in a second. I put a check mark next to the day when I complete that task. And then getting to the goal of losing 5 pounds, it's time for a weigh-in. I'm excited to finally weigh in for you guys. I'm sure you guys are too, because this is a weight loss channel, and what's a weight loss channel without a weigh-in? So on December 30th, I weighed in at 168.8 pounds. Let's see what I weighed in on January 31st. All right, so I weighed in at 164, which means I lost a total of 4.8 pounds, which means I almost hit my goal. I was off by 2 ounces. I don't think that's too shabby. I think that's awesome. It's definitely a step in the right direction. I'm really looking forward to next month. But first, I want to kind of touch on my quarterly goals. So let's go back into my workout room and we'll get into that. All right, we're back, and now I'm gonna do a quick little check-in on see how I'm doing with my Q1 goals. So I did just weigh in, and you see that I lost 4.8 pounds, and that does put a little bit of a dent into my Q1 weight loss goal. My Q1 weight loss goal is to hit 150 pounds by the end of March. I know that was a pretty hefty goal, and I knew that going in. I just wanted to go big, so I made a big weight loss goal. Whether I hit it or not, I'm not sure, but hey, I'm gonna try. And I made a little temperature gauge to see how I'm doing with that goal. I actually found that idea several years ago on a blog. A girl was tracking her weight loss on like a temperature gauge, and I thought that would be a fun way to track my quarterly weight loss goals. So 4.8 pounds down and about 14 more pounds to go. My next goal is to fit comfortably into a size 10. I can fit into a size 10, but it's very tight and snug. I do have a pair of pants that I'm using to gauge, and I actually wore those pants out in public for the first time in a while. They're still a little snug. They still give me a little bit of a muffin top, but they're getting better. That means I'm losing inches. And also, I went shopping, I think it was last weekend. I tried on some jeggings at Maurice's, and I grabbed the large because I figured I'd be large, and they were actually too big. So I had to go down to medium. Medium is a little snug, but like I said, I am slowly losing inches here, so I'm hopeful that the muffin top will be going down on those too. I bought 4 pairs of jeans, so I'm excited about that. I really needed some new jeans. As far as tracking goes, I have been tracking every day, and that's been going really well. My tracking spreadsheet has really been working for me and helping me out with all my habits that I'm trying to do and all of my goals that I'm trying to get to. And so far, I'm really liking that I'm starting my weeks on Thursdays. My weeks start on Thursdays in the tracker. I'm weighing in on Thursdays, and I'm also meal prepping on Thursdays. It's just working out really well for me just because I have no time on the weekends to do my reset routine. My calorie range goal was going really well. I think I am going to start only tracking my weekly calorie goal. Before I was kind of tracking both the daily and the weekly. I feel like the weekly is a lot better because some days I'm eating like 2,500 calories and then other days I'm eating like 1,300 calories, and it just kind of all evens out in the end, I guess. And it's not getting to my head as much. Like before, I was trying to hit between this number and this number, and if I went over, I felt like I wasn't on track that day. This weekly calorie goal is a really good way to track your calories. If you feel like you're really triggered by tracking calories, maybe try doing like a weekly calorie target and see how that works. It's not getting to me as much up here as it normally does. Kind of going off of that, my plan is to eventually track my protein because I do want to try to eat more protein to keep me full and satisfied. However, right now I'm still not there yet. I'm still just kind of getting used to this weekly calorie goal and trying to get back into tracking my calories every day. Kind of not related to weight loss, but it kind of is because it's my channel. But another goal I had for Q1 was to get back on track with my YouTube channel and start posting consistently again, and also posting consistently on Instagram. Instagram is always going to be a work in progress. I just really suck at social media in general, but I have been posting more reels on Instagram. I have posted a couple shorts on YouTube, and I've also been posting every Sunday here on YouTube. That is going really well. I'm also getting into tracking all of my to-do lists and all of that in Trello, and I also have a master area where I track everything on my Google Calendar, and that's working pretty well. And I think not weighing in weekly is also helping with that. I feel like then I don't have to try to whip out a video every week, and I can kind of batch my content and record ahead of time and then post it later, rather than, every single week I have to weigh in and then try to crank out a video. Now that I've gone over my quarterly and my January goals, it's time to set some goals for February. First off, I am going to decrease my weekly calorie goal. Before I was shooting to hit below 12,600 calories a week. I am decreasing that to 12,250 calories a week, and that actually comes out to below 1,750 calories a day on average. Again, if I go over 1,750 calories one day, that's not the end of the world because I still have some wiggle room the rest of the week. As far as working out, I am going to continue with my workout rotation. Kathy Friedrich has come out with some new clips for the STS 2.0 series, and it's making me so excited. I am loving all of these clips. I've also been buying some more workout equipment that is needed. I already have quite a bit of equipment. It's just a couple things here and there that I've added just for motivation purposes, I guess. But it's not coming out yet. It's probably going to be another couple months before she starts shipping things out. So I will continue working on the rotation that I found on her website. As far as a goal that I have in mind, I did not really set a goal for workouts last month. I just kind of want to get back into it because before I was going to the gym and going to my workout classes. I'm no longer going to the gym because it's too expensive because they raised the rates. So I had to cancel my membership and I had to get back into the swing of things of working out at home. It has been an adjustment. Not gonna lie, I don't work out as hard as I did in the gym. Sometimes I just don't want to work out for a full hour, so I'll do like a premix, and that's been working, but I think eventually I'll get better at it. So my goal for February is to work out at least 4 times a week. I have it on the schedule to work out 6 times a week, but if I hit 4 times a week, then that's good with me. As far as weight loss, I do want to lose another 5 pounds, and that will get me into the 150s, back into the 150s to 159. That makes it a little harder to get to my quarterly goal of 150 by the end of March, but I think I can do it. And then one last goal that I'm adding is a water goal. I am really bad at drinking water, and you guys are gonna laugh at my goal because I am going to try to get 20 ounces of water a day. I know that's really bad. It's bad that I'm not even getting that much right now, but you gotta start somewhere, and that actually doesn't include the water that I drink during my workouts. That's gonna be separate. I want to drink 20 ounces of water on top of what I drink during my workouts. So that brings me to the end. I hope you guys are all doing good on your goals, and let me know down in the comments what your guys' goals are for February. If you're setting monthly goals, I've got a lot of great videos coming up for you in the next few weeks, and before we know it, we'll be ready to set some goals for March. So I'll see you again then to set some goals for March and look back on the month of February. But with that, I am going to sign out, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Tears are